Hi, my name is Chris Kenoy, and I'm going to be giving my first speech today. My speech is going to inform you about the Central Africa's growing network of roads and how they are causing death to endangered forest elephants that are being slaughtered for their ivory. My specific purpose is that my speech can somehow affect some people and to change their attitudes about poaching or even hunting. My central idea is to concentrate and briefly talk about the low populations of herds left of the remaining elephants and that they are still being poached for their ivory. New roads and the ones in progress are penetrating deep into the dense forests of the Congo Basin region. These roads are giving poachers better access to the last refuge of these jungle elephants. More than 50 poaching camps and 41 slaughtered elephants were discovered 26,000 square miles on protected wilderness forests that would stretch from the Republic of the Congo to southwestern Gabon by the team which had reported its finding in the journal Public Library of Science Biology. The areas where elephants can be protected are getting smaller. At last count taken in 1989, an estimated 170,000 forest elephants remained in the wild. The population is getting lower due to road construction fueled by logging and development companies because they are tearing into the elephants' territory. Ivory is the reason behind why these defenseless creatures are being slaughtered. Ivory has always been around. Evidence from Paleolithic eras showed late stages of ivory drawings on caves from mammoth tusk. Both the Greek and Roman civilizations used large quantities of ivory to make value works of art, precious religious objects, and decorative boxes for costly objects. The Syrian and North African elephant populations were reduced to extinction, probably due to the demand for ivory in the classical world. Ivory has availed itself to many ornamental and practical uses. Prior to the introduction of plastics, ivory was used for billiard balls, piano keys, Scottish bagpipes, buttons, pipes, and the list goes on. It is estimated that the consumption in Great Britain alone in 1831 amounted to the deaths of nearly 4,000 elephants. Synthetic substitutes for ivory have been developed since then. Plastics have been viewed by piano purists an inferior ivory substitute on piano keys. Although other recently developed materials more closely resemble the feel of real ivory, they're still around. Ivory is formed from the dentine and constitutes the bulk of the teeth and tusk of animals such as the elephant, hippopotamus, walrus, the extinct mammoth, and narwhal. Elephants have 4 molars. Each approximately weighs 11 pounds and can measure up to 12 inches long. As the front pair wears down and drops out in pieces, the back shift forward and 2 new molars emerge in the back of the mouth. Elephants replace their teeth 6 times. Their tusks are their teeth, so they eat with their tusks. The second set of incisors become the tusks, which stay permanently until they fall out at the age of 40 to 60. The tusks can weigh anywhere from 50 to 100 pounds and grow from 5 to 8 feet long. Tusks are used for digging roots and stripping off bark of trees for food. They also are used for fighting each other during mating season and protecting themselves and defending each other from predators. Like I said, at the age of 40 to 60, the elephant no longer has its teeth and they will most likely die of starvation. Starvation usually is a common cause of death, but poaching fatality rates are getting higher. These elephants are not being killed off for trophy prizes. They are being killed and stripped of their tusk. In order to obtain all the ivory from the elephant, the hunter and the poacher must cut into the head. This is noted that with knowledge that approximately 25% of the ivory is contained in the head. Once the elephants are completely stripped of its tusks, they are left to die in the plains and to be devoured by vultures. Since elephants' tusks are its ivory chief source and mane is the elephant's only serious predator, ivory is the root of the African elephants threatened to extinction. The African elephant has always been a prime target for being hunted. About 30 years ago, there was a plain the size of Texas that once held 300,000 elephants, but over the past 3 decades, poachers have killed a majority of the elephants. Poaching reduced the population of elephants in certain regions during the 20th century. It began to pressure in the east region of Chad. Elephant herds were substantial as recently as 1970, with an estimated population of 400,000. However, by 2006, the number had dwindled to about 10,000. The drastic decline in the elephant population started to become an ecological scare. It was then and there the African elephant has earned governmental protection. Even though African elephants have been hunted for centuries, the explosion of elephant herds began in the 1970s. Organized gangs of poachers used automatic weapons, profited from government corruption, and smuggled tons of elephant tusks through several African countries to destinations in the eastern and western countries. The African elephant was threatened with because of this smuggling of ivory. The African Elephant Conservation Act of 1989 was enforced to ensure the conservation and protection of the African elephant. It was an important piece of legislation. Even there was no cessation of ivory poaching and trading. Government condoned public burning of ivory in Kenya and has become a symbolic display of the ivory market will not be condoned. In conclusion, the African elephant is being endangered and killed off every day from the human activity of progression of highways or the illegal trade of ivory. Protection of the African elephant is a hard task to manage, but maybe one day the elephant will be safe. Until now, we can enjoy seeing the elephant at our local zoo. Well, that was my speech. Thank you. I hope you learned a lot about the African elephant and how it is being slaughtered.